Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you're a returning watcher. I'm George, I'm the Good Lad Gamer, and as you can see up here somewhere, the portal is purple, so it's a *2 event on Void Shards. It's not just the *2 event, we've also got a champion chase needed for Jeroboam, I think we're calling him. He's a fragment summons. Jeroboam. So as you can see, I've already got 30 of the shards. I've just been sort of plugging away at all this sort of tournaments and events that have been on, just trying to get those shards, and we'll just jump into the champion chase tournament as well, see how many points we need. So we need 3,000 points, so we need to see some good legendaries out of these pools. I've currently got about 100, well, I've got 116 Void Shards on this account, and I've got about 100 on my other account. So we're going to be pulling 200 plus Void Shards today. And before I get into pulling these shards, guys, I just want to say, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please like this video and subscribe to my page. Subscribing makes a huge amount of difference to me. I'm currently on about 250 subscribers, and my next big milestone that I want to hit is 300 subscribers. I know with 300 subscribers that I'm absolutely making content that people actually enjoy and want to see more of. So if you like the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into pulling these 200 voids. So I am absolutely going to have to, it's a bit of a disclaimer, I'm absolutely going to have to make room in between. As you can see, I've got 57 slots available, so I'm going to have to make room in between, but I will make it as quick as a flash for you guys. It will take ages for me, but it'll be as quick as a flash. Just before we get into pulling the shards, there is a ×10 on Odin. I very much doubt I'm going to get him. I've never pulled one of the champions from a ×10, but I will go through the kit of any legendary that I pull. Let's go. First 10 pull. First 10 pull out of 11. If I can get a Krisk, I'm happy. If I can get a Sifi, I'm happy. If I can get a... what's her name? What is her name? If I can get a Krisk, if I can get a... Marishka on either of my accounts. I've already got Marishka on this account. If I can get her on the other account, or another one on this account, I'll be very happy. If I could get an Anithwi, is it Anithwi? No, it's, oh God, I'm gonna have to look at this up. Hold the line, callers. What is his name, and what is he in? Not Anithwi, Anithwi's a boring one at this point. Well, if I could get a Solus, if I could get a Hegemon, I'll be happy with any of these. Basically, what I'm saying is I will be happy with nearly any Void Legendary. The more meta, the better. I'll be happy with that. So, we've done one temple. No one of interest in it. We had a Gembo, I think, in it. No one really of interest. We've got Basha, Exemplar. I don't want to see rares. No more rares. There's loads. We got a Madame Cerise, arguably a legendary in a epic skin. I already have Madame Cerise. Actually, one of the champions that took the longest for me. Out of the sort of two big champions that you see quite a lot, I didn't get a Madame Cerise or a Cold Heart. I'm sorry, guys. My mind just went completely blank. I had to actually look Cold Heart up. That's how blank my mind's gone. Anyway, it took me ages to get a Cold Heart or a Madame Cerise. So long, and I thought there was something wrong with the game. We got a Godseeker, a Neri in this one, and a Sylar. Both absolutely great champions. If you've got them in your roster and you haven't built them, absolutely build them. On to the next temple, though. Not interested in epics. Maybe some of the epics, but I've pretty much got all of the epics built out that I will want, that I do want. So I'm only interested in legendaries, and there it is. I don't know who that champion is. Valcanon. He looks very spooky. He's a spooky boy. He's got his scythe there, and I'm gonna make myself a little bit familiar with his kit, and then I will talk you guys through it. Right, this one is a wordy one, guys, so you'll have to bear with me. I don't really like reading out loud on the best of times, let alone sort of on a video that I'm about to post to the internet. Either way, on his A1, attacks one enemy. This attack ignores shield buffs. Has a 60% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. Also has an 80% chance of applying a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies under a hex debuff. Then on his A2, attacks all enemies. This attack deals single target damage to each target individually rather than AoE damage. Before attacking, has an 80% chance of placing hex debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Will ignore 20% of each enemy's resistance for each dead ally. Damage of this skill increases by 10% for each debuff on the enemy. This is a wordy one. On his A3, target an ally. If the ally is alive, targets them and unlocks a secret skill, Malice Unleashed. Also places a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns and a True Fear debuff for 1 turn on all enemies. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked, then fills the turn meter, the champion's turn meter by 75%. If the ally is dead, heals this champion by 50% of the dead ally's max HP. If all allies are dead, this unlocks a secret skill, Malice Unleashed again. Places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to the surplus heal. If this champion already has a shield buff, then the value of the shield is increased by any surplus heal. This fills the champion's turn meter by 75%. That's a wordy one. And then his secret skill, the Malice Unleashed, attacks 1 enemy. Before attacking, steals all buffs from the target. This effect cannot be resisted. If the target has attack equal or higher than this champion's attack, this attack gains a bonus multiplier equal to the target's attack. Not applicable to bosses, because that would be really OP. If the target's attack is less than this champion, this attack will ignore 50% of the target's defense. This attack will also ignore block damage, unkillable, shield, ally protection, and places a block revive debuff on the target that is killed. Is this a really good champion? Have I just pulled a really good champion? Like an absolute nuker? I can't really tell. I might have to look him up after we've done this, or maybe you guys can let me know. And then on his passive, another wordy one. So the active effect places a shield buff on this champion each time an ally or enemy champion dies. The value of the shield buff is equal to 50% of the dead champion's max HP. This shield buff cannot be removed, stolen, or transferred. If the champion is already under a shield buff, the value of the shield is increased by 50% of the dead champion's max HP. Does not activate when a boss or minion dies. So it wouldn't work against Fire Knight and his minions, for example, or Spider, or any of the any of the bosses in Doom Tower that have minions. Whenever an enemy the passive effect, whenever an enemy hits this champion while they're under a shield buff, places a random debuff on the attacking enemy. True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Petrification, Sleep, or Stun. So CCing moves, I guess you'd call it, are placed for 1 turn. Any other debuffs are placed for 2 turns. Will ignore 20% of the enemy's resistance for each dead ally. Cannot place boss exclusive debuff, Sleep, or Smite debuffs. And then down here we have all of the random debuffs that it can do. So that's actually a crazy amount. A crazy amount of debuffs on that one. I don't like how random that is. How random it is scares me a little bit. And then on his aura, he has a 30% increased speed in arena battles. So please do let me know, is this a really good champion? Have I just sort of fallen on Valkanen? And I didn't know anything about him, potentially, but I'm going to move on and I'm going to do a bit of research after this video. So moving on to the next temple, we got 1 legendary out of over 200 Void Shards. So fingers crossed, guys, we can get another one out of this account, and then 2 more on the other account. Maybe that'd be pretty nice. All rares. We've got a Rowan. And we've got an Ostrox Bone Glaive. I need to make a little bit of room. Give me 2 seconds, guys, and I'll be right back. And I am going to have to make room again on this account alone, let alone on the other account. But we will just jump into the temples. It's only been a second for you guys. It took me ages to do that. We've got a Cold Heart, the best champion we've seen so far. We've got a Beardle Fellhammer, not interested. Reliquary Tender's quite a good champion. If you're missing a reviver, quite sort of early and mid game, Reliquary Tender might be a good champion for you. And Basher, also a really good epic. And Renegade, also a really good rare. So actually quite a nice 10 pull, but not the legendaries that I'm looking for. So a legendary out of this one would be lovely. Another Renegade. A legendary. Not all rares. Please, not all rares. We got an epic at the end. Two Hack the Wanderer. Moving on quite quickly. Not interested in 2 Hack the Wanderer. We've got a Faceless. A Legendary. Legendary. Got Painkeeper. I actually use Painkeeper in some of my teams. I use Painkeeper in my Iron Twins team. So having 2 out of the same pool is pretty nice. If you time it right and you have Painkeeper with the right speeds, you can make it unkillable for the Iron Twins, which is pretty cool. And another Cold Heart for my champion, one of my champions that took me the longest to get out of those really key champions that you need on your account. Cold Heart took me maybe a year, maybe a year and a half to actually pull her. So it's nice to see some more coming into the roster. Moving on. What are we going to get? A Legendary, a Harrier, a Veteran, Draconis, Battle Sage, Bulwark, Hollow, Tree Shield Knot, Branch Arm, Lasher. I need to make room anyway. I've got a bit transfixed then. I need to make a little bit more room and then we'll pull the last couple of voids on this account and then we'll move on to the other account. And on to the last 26 voids. Straight in for the 10 pull. No messing. And we got the second legendary. It's an Alil. I'm not that impressed with Alil. I have had him before. It's a legendary though. I'll take it. I'll take 2 legendaries on the same account. I will take that. That is 2 void legendaries in one lot, one pull. So I'll take that as a win. I'm going to go straight into Alil's kit. I'm not going to mess around. It's not as wordy as the last guy, so I'm just going to go into it. Another guy with a big scythe. So it's the Scythe boys today, by the looks of things. So we seem to have the Scythe boys in today. 2 big boys with scythes. I'll take it because scythes are cool. So I'm alright with that. On his A1, attacks 1 enemy, steals all buffs from the target for the first time this champion hits them with this skill. This effect cannot be resisted. Each subsequent time this attack hits an enemy, no buffs will be stolen. Instead, the damage will increase by 10% for each buff on the target. On his A2, attacks 1 enemy, will ignore Strengthen, Stone Skin, increase defense, and ally protection. If this attack kills an enemy, fully heals this champion and places Stone Skin on them for 1 turn. And then on his A3, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, removes any increased defense buffs on the target and replaces them with decreased defense debuffs for 2 turns. Also removes any strengthen and replaces it with a weaken. I'm not going to do the percentages. Places a block buffs debuff for 1 turn on the enemy not under increased defense or strengthen. Buff removal and buff placement cannot be resisted. And then on his passive, increases this champion's HP by 2,000 and defense by 100 for every 1,000 attack they have. This fills this champion's turn meter by 10% whenever they receive a buff. So, in theory, Alil is incredible. The best champion in the game, potentially. Maybe like on par with Georgid. Because he does the Ignore Stone Skin, which is so used in like Arena and stuff like that at the moment. But he's just not that good. He's just not that good. And he might be a dupe on this account. He might be my first one on this account. But he's not that good. And I don't really have much else to say on it, to be honest. In theory, could be a really good champion. This attack alone is incredible. And maybe if you're struggling with a damage dealer in Arena, then this guy is your go-to if he's the only guy you've got. But personally, I think you're better off with an Uko or someone like that to strip Stone Skin and then just use one of the normal damage dealers, to be honest. But I got 2 legendaries, so I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to do the last, I think it's probably 16, the last 16 shards, and we're going to go on to the other account, and hopefully we get the same luck over there. I may come across as slightly underwhelmed by these legendaries that I've got. The first one, Valkanen. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's any good. And Alil is a tried and tested, not very good damage dealer. But I am not unhappy about it, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy that I've got them. They're added to my teams, they're added to my roster. And if Alil ever gets a buff, then I will absolutely use him. But at this point in time, he's not on the list. He's not on the list for me. We're just going to be pulling these 6 voids, see if we get anything special. I don't think we will at this point. After 2 legendaries, I think my luck is probably all dried up on this account. But we'll move on to the other account. We'll do the same over there. And hopefully, we can get 2 more legendaries out of it. And we're on to the last 2. Come on, another rare. I haven't even been paying attention to. We've got the last one. Not interested in you, Dagger. And a rare to finish it off. I'm just going to go and make sure I've got the points for the champion chase. I'm currently number 1. That will not last very long because people are mad for these champion chase and fragment summons. I never ever win. But as you can see, I've got all 15 fragments, and I will go on to the other account and we'll do exactly the same over there. So we are on the Kale account. We got 2 legendaries from the Galek account. Fingers crossed we get the same luck on the Kale account. I'm just jumping straight in. No messing around. No talk. I just want to see legendaries. We've got another Painkeeper. Well, the first Painkeeper on this account. Very good to see you, Painkeeper. But you're not a legendary. A pretty good. I mean, doesn't deserve to be a rare. A good champion, but not a legendary. Diana, was that? Gloom something? Diana Gloom something? I'm not interested in you. I'm not even going to learn your name. Godseeker Aniri, for the 2nd time on this video. Great champion. If you've got a builder, there's nothing else I can say about her, really. She's really, really good. And I've seen a lot of people sort of cheesing the Sand Devil with her. I say cheesing. They're setting up like a 2-man team with a burner with Godseeker Aniri, and then if you do the speed tune right, Godseeker will always have the passive revive available for the burner, so they always are going to get back up and put a burn on the Sand Devil. So it's not really a cheese, but she is a good champion for that. And then if you build her with the requirements that she needs for Sand Devil, then she's probably going to be useful in other content. We've got a Reliquary Tender, but I'm not interested if we're going by the 2 revivers. Iniri is absolutely the better reviver. So we're moving on. Paragon, not interested in Paragon. Never done the Paragon cheese. I'm pretty proud of that. And a Cold Heart, lovely to see. Again, thanks for coming in so regularly these days, but I wish you did when I first started playing the game, to be honest. And a Sawai Firstborn, not interested. Moving on. I feel like I'm rushing all of a sudden. That's because I haven't seen any legendaries yet. Hollow Seducer, Reliquary Tender again. Scathix. This is looking dire compared to the last account. Last account I had a legendary by now. That's what I want to see. Another Paragon. Moving on though. Another legendary. 3rd one for this video, and we're going to get 4 in total. A Lure, a Warcaster. Warcaster again, one of those sort of secret champions. He's part of my Unkillable team on my Galek account for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So don't sleep on Warcaster. If you pull him, don't feed him, because you might need him one day, and I didn't have him. So I really needed him when I wanted to build my Unkillable team. And we've got a Paragon again for another Paragon cheese. Still, not used it. Never done the Paragon cheese. I did campaign, legit. I did Nightmare campaign, legit. Ethlen the Golden, Renegade. No one else of note so far. No one else of note so far, game. And another Renegade. And I need to make room. It's not looking good for the old legendaries, is it? But let me make room and I'll be right back. And we are back. We got more than enough room for the remaining shards, 42, and the dream of 2 void legendaries. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be blunt about it. Another Godseeker Aniri. She is going to be a +2. The one that I have built anyway. And hopefully that'll bring... I tried to build that sort of Sand Devil cheese with her. And I didn't have good enough gear. So maybe if I can what do you call it, enhancer with copies of herself, then maybe I'll be able to finally sort of reach that goal. But I didn't have the gear to be able to build her for that cheese. But maybe in the future. Moving on though, no one else of note in that one. 2 legendaries back to back, maybe. That would be quite nice. At least 1 at this point. I would take 1 at this point. Game. Another elf. Ethlen the Golden. Ouroboros. Oboro. Oboro. Moving on. Akentum. Really good champion. Never built him, but I've seen him in use, and he's an incredible champion. So don't sleep on him either. No one else of interest. It's not looking good. I think this is my last 10 pull, and no legendaries so far. So maybe 3 back to back. Maybe 3 in the same 10 pull. That'd be quite nice. Another renegade. The legendary. The legendary, please. Game. Can I have a legendary? It's not looking good. 2 voids. Legendary back to back from single pulls. We've got a rare. Not even a good rare. And the last one. And it's an epic. And it's a good epic. Inquisitor Shamel. Seen a lot more use since Hydra. Whew, that was rough. 102 Void Shards. Anyway, we'll go and check the champion chase. I'm only 2nd in this one. If I pulled a legendary or 2, I would have been 1st. I would have been 1st. Anyway, we'll pull these fragments. We'll pull all the rewards, and I'll go and cry in the corner, I guess. Alright guys, that is it from me. We got 2 Void Legendaries, 1 Ilil. I'm not too impressed with. I've had him before, didn't really rate him that much. And then we've got Velkennen. I can't remember his name now, that's how bad it is. Should we have a quick look? I'll have a quick look while I'm doing the outro. We've got a Valcannon. So he might be a really good champion. In theory, from his kit, he looks like quite a cool champion, but we'll see if I can build him out. I'll do a little bit of research on him and see if he's any good. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you pulled any Void Legendaries or any Void Champions that are game-changing for you, please do let me know in the comments. It'll mean a huge amount to me if you let me know in the comments, because I'm feeling a bit lonely posting these videos at the moment. I'm not getting that much, that many comments. And I want to help. I want to help you, and I want to help you understand the game better. And maybe I'll be able to do that. But yeah, if you've got any game-changing champions from your Void Shards, please do let me know, and I will celebrate with you. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.